Voilà. Monsieur Mohamed.
Yes.
Yow beneen bi understand loo ko yaa ngi prime param lu yow lu tax mënuloo du boobu moo gën a yomba
Bu click naa ba sonn na mënut a dem.
dem na kay yow yaa followed instructions yi naka yaa ngi si jàmm
Bu baax.
naka ngoon si
Ngoon saa ngi nii rek.
yaa ngi noos de yaa ngi leer bo alhamdulilah macha allah
Macha allah ah man xam nga dëkk bi dafa bëri ay saabu soap yu ñu defar different type of soaps.
yaa ngi nas sa boppa nawuloo ma yaa ngi noos bro
Non saabu yi la rek because fii Sénégal sax fi ñu gëndee saabu ak Gambia saabu yi ñu defar.
ok kon nag maa yoonee saabu yooyu man tamit war a xasu man daa ma mun a leer
seen saabu yi moo tax.
naka yaa ngi si jàmm
Bu baax maa ngi fine.
naka ngoon si
sant yàlla bu baax.
naka Friday bi mais xam nga ñun fii nii ak jumaa yi léegi ubbi nañ fii we started going
waaw
to prayers
léegi life back to normal.
yeah I will let you dinaa la bàyyi you make your greetings and all those things then we proceed
Okay, bismillahi rahmani rahim wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajmain. So mbokk yi ñu leen nuyuwaat once again leen wax asalaamaaleykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh si this very important program bi nga xam ne social la religious la ñu ko di am again every Friday topic important waxtaan si jokkante xalaat tasaare xam-xam ñu jëriñu lu si nekk yàlla nañu ko yàlla def yiw lu si nekk nju yàlla ko jëkk incha allah
amen okay man tamit nuyuma te nuyu because du gonna live 2 times this is the 3rd time Mohamed asalaamaaleykum mbokk yi na ngeen def musibe on na way te naa lay moom greetings everybody those who will be watching now and those who will be watching these programs after. This is your brother Boubacar Gobijo Jallow. Welcome to the open conversation on religion and society that we always have now each second Friday of the second Friday. When I have morning shift, we come and have our discussion on Friday, because if I have late shift, I always arrive home late. That's why last week we did not have the open conversation. And if it was also possible, I would not be here because I went for a fest. I was not in turnout, so I was not home. But welcome. Today I want to talk to Mohamed. Mohamed, I will engage you. I will engage you today both in Wolof and in English, because okay. Because I have some people who watch me who don't speak Wolof. So, and your Fulani is not that good. I know also your Mandinka, you struggle that much. So, and likewise. So, but I speak Wolof. I will engage you in Wolof because many Gambians speak Wolof too. Gambian Senegalese people. I will engage you when I deem fit that I will bring you into those topics. But I have people also who listen who doesn't speak Gambian language, so and they understand English. So I will basically today, because of the essence of the topic that we are talking about today, I want to have an open conversation with you about that. Mohammed, are you following the recent happenings in the world, like the crisis in Afghanistan? I hope his network did not go. Hello, Mohammed. I try to have him now. His network is tripping. This is the problem. Whenever I have Mohammed on our open conversation, his network fails. Today, I want to talk to Mohammed about the Taliban, about Afghanistan. I want to understand his view. What do he understand? What is going to happen in the livelihood of people in Afghanistan? I know many Afghan people in Europe here. I know very kind young people who left Afghanistan some years ago, you know, to 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 have a better life, you know, escape from brutality of, you know, this extreme Islamic, you know, militants groups. And you know, if you are watching as a brother and a friend from Afghanistan, I share your frustrations. I understand your pain now knowing that family members, you know, are going back to 20 years ago or 25 years ago, how it was. Even though during these 20 years there was no peace there, but yet still, uh, there was a bit of hope which went away. And you know, I, for one, I am a Muslim, but I don't believe that people should live in a state where people, everybody worship the same way. I don't believe that, because I, for one, believe, you know, religion is based on faith, and faith is not what you saw, you know, it's what you believe. It's iman. Even in Islam, they say, they call it iman. So that is belief. So that which you believe, it should not, you should not force it onto people. So this is my belief. And if you look at in Islam also, it is the sense, you don't have to force your belief on other people if the scriptures are not fooling people, or I don't know which scriptures these militant groups are reading. Because yes, living, wanting to live in a society where everybody think like you, or or act like you, it might be nice, but that is not what make us unique, you know. Because I come here several times, Muhammad, I engage him about the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to live in Saudi Arabia, in Mecca and Medina, with people who doesn't believe in Islam. So, but if because they have peace, you know, they give each other peace, they exist among each other, you know. So, but these militant groups that we know, like the Taliban, the ISIS, and all these people, they just want everybody who is under them to think like them, to worship like them, you know. So, which is contrary to the life of the Prophet. So, this is why I want to engage Muhammad today. I following Muhammad on social media since what happened. I understand Muhammad is like a sympathizer of the Taliban. So Muhammad, welcome back. Mohamed, mun nga génnee sa earphone bi nga def ko comme nuñ ko doon defee rek before, because since you started listening from your earphone, we don't get to hear from each other much. I hope Mohammed's internet will allow him to come here, because he also wanted to talk about this topic, you know, which is he want to talk about it. He engaged me several times online. We were talking on about these things. I want to bring him on here, you know, to talk to him about our differences. So how we believe, and I want to understand his what is his take on the Taliban. And you know, to me, the Taliban for me is not. I would personally would not like to live in an Islamic state. So I am a Muslim, but I don't want to live in Islamic state. Mohammed,
Yes.
you know, yow yaa ngi bàyyi sa protocol bi man ak yow suñu def programme yi doo dee déglu Facebook, but since recently yaa dang dee déglu programme bi from Facebook, which bring difficulty si suñu waxtaan. Def ko noo ko daan defee rek, génneel sa earphone earpin bi nga déglu directly man ak yow fu ñu waxtaanee, bul déglu Facebook, because that will disturb our conversation. Just put off your Facebook and talk to me like directly from the link. Okay?
No problem.
Okay. Because so I déglu Facebook, so I déglu my déglu from Facebook, man ak yow dañoo nekk some seconds difference, which is not. Facebook ak earpiece be just put it off, you know, then we talk like we used to talk, you know. Mohamed, balaa sa network bi balaa sa network bi di demaat dama bàyyi nga tontu si suma laajte bi lu ma la laajte.
Okay.
What is your how the Mbayange follow these happenings of these Islamic groups that took over Pakistan, Afghanistan recently?
Okay. Yes, of course. maa ngi ko follow bu baax te maa ngi ko doon follow balaa ñu xew almost 10 years back maa ngi am many informations about the reality in Afghanistan. Comme lu ma
so waxee reality in Afghanistan, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about?
Okay, the realities that happened there. What was going on there since from 1979 up to date? Because
okay,
so my three of my professors who taught me at the university, they were in Afghanistan doing jihad during the Soviet Union invasion in Afghanistan from 1979 up to 1989. So those people, they were there and they know well what exactly happened there and what is behind all these problems going on in Afghanistan since in the 70s up to date. So Mota is very important. It's very important the reality of Afghanistan. Taliban group bi ñu gis lan moo ko create. What was the cause for Taliban to be Taliban? And what was their objectives? All these things should be known to people because actually many people don't know what exactly happened before this scene. What happened before Taliban was
let me tell you this, Mohammed. It is very easy to say the Taliban or Al Qaeda or ISIS or the Muslim Brotherhood. These people have good intention, towards the people, but their rulings, the way they handle people under them, is contrary to the teachings of what their beliefs. This is where people have problem with these people, not because of they are Muslims, or because even man as a Muslim, I will never want to live with those people. I will never want to be under them because of the way they treat even those who believe in their own faith. You want to tell us, you want to talk about what the reason behind why the Taliban was formed, but what people the world know about Taliban is worse than the reason what they. Yama follow. Network can be them out now. I don't know whether I will host this program with Mohammed long today because network can be munge them the duga. Here is my problem. I don't have problem with people having their fundamental beliefs or trying to work towards their belief. I have no issues about that. I have no issues because it's just like these political groups, political, even in like we have this extreme right group, these extreme groups in Europe who think only people who identify like them. If you are a white man, it's all Europe is only for white people. Anybody who is not a European should not be in Europe, should not have the benefit of it. This is the same like the Taliban. Same like Al Qaeda, this is all the same. If you look in reality, the mentality of any extremism or people who try to divide and rule, to superiority, people who seek superiority. These are the mentalities that they have, because let's say the Nazis, they believe only the German blood are the pure, and anybody who is not, you are minor. Like people like in Belgium here, we have this Flams Blanc. Those people, they believe only people of the Flemish, those are people, they value those people. Anybody who is not a Flemish, he or she is nothing. He or she should should not be prioritized. That is the same way like you see the Taliban. That's the same way all these extreme groups. Because the only difference that they have, okay, the Nazis, those people, they took weapons and they invaded people and they killed a lot of people. People, other extreme believers in Europe here also, they have those, they kill many people. Likewise, ISIS and all Taliban. I don't believe in forcing ideologies or beliefs on people. I don't believe that, because if they think they need an Islamic state, and the one who bring Islam on them accept people from differences to live and exist with them, during his time when he was the prophet, so why are they trying to kill people? Why are they forcing people to believe like them? Why are they forcing everybody to to worship like them? Because if the Taliban now in Afghanistan, they will not allow people to worship as Christians or Jews or any other, or Hindus or Buddhists or any other things, like the ISIS was trying to do in Syria and Iraq. So it's the same thing. So this is where their beliefs, their way of life, and the teachings of their faith differs, because what they are talking about, what their objectives, and the risk, and the objective of the, how to call it, the cause, the actual cause of the faith is different. Because if God can say to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell those who don't believe, they will not make you to worship like that, like the way they worship, and if you will not convince them to worship like you worship, there is no way that you will worship in which they worship. So for the benefit of all of you, to you your religion, and to them their religion. So if you like what I'm reciting, I'm not reading in Arabic, I'm saying it in English. If you go to the Quran, you see is there Kafirun, the surah this is called Kafirun. You go and read it in the Quran, it is there. If God can say that to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is Taliban, who is ISIS, to be saying that everybody have to worship like them, how can you want to establish, force everybody to be like you, to worship like you? Only the way you think, or not. If you want to live under them, you have, because this caliphate there, we have a lot of caliphs here. All these caliphs who follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from Abu Bakr to the last one, they all tolerate other religious people. They did not, only they attack only people who attack them. We seen like some caliphs who make treaties with Christians, like even in Jerusalem today. If you see Jerusalem in Israel, that the Jews can go claim, can be able in this century to claim something in Jerusalem, is because of the tolerance of the caliphs that follow the Prophet. Because if those people were not tolerant, the Jews will never be able to trace those things, because these caliphs will make sure they destroy all this important heritage of these Christians, of Jews, like ISIS we are doing in Syria and in Iraq. Like going to break down temples, bringing down mosques that this thing is not Islamic, because for them, like if you don't like, if they, let's say they are Shia or Sunni, if they are Sunni and the Shia have a mosque, for them that the Shia is not a Muslim. They are not pure Muslims. Like let's say like in Gambia, in Senegambia now, you have like the Tijan, the Murid, and all those things. The Murid will say the Tijans are not Muslims, and the Tijans will say the Murids are not Muslims. So anything like that. So all these differences come there, and they are all speaking in the name of Islam. Imagine if those caliphs, like from Abu Bakr Siddiq, Umar, Usman, Ali, all those people, if they were not tolerant, all these people, all these kingdoms that they invaded, all these empires that they took over by then, they would have wiped out all these histories of all these minorities, that all those people, all these Christian kingdoms, like in Israel, Israel would have been totally Islamic. The Jews will never be able to go and claim a land like that until to go and have a temple like, you know, or like at the Al Aqsa Mosque where it is now. They have, because of the tolerance of the Muslim caliphs, that the Christians have their worshiping place, and the Jews also have, side by side, like the Muslims and the Christians. So if you look at these things, it's an actual fact that the, you know, Islamic groups like the ISIS or the Taliban, they contradict the teachings of or the practice of Islam, because they want to emphasize, they want to put religion for, like, on people by force. So Muhammad is not coming. I think his network will not allow him. I wanted to talk to him because we've been having this conversation on Facebook, you know, on our conversation on WhatsApp for so long. Since this happened, I wanted to talk to him about, you know, to come here and bring it on. I know a lot of the Afghanistan people here in Europe, in Belgium here. I know a lot of boys, young people from Afghanistan who ran away from there, and they are here. Their families are there. Imagine how those people feel now. By now, it's very sad. And if you look at the images now, it is between the Taliban and one group of ISIS group in there. So there will not be peace in Afghanistan soon. You know, as much as the NATO allies kill a lot of people there, and the Taliban also, there will be a lot of innocent people who are even Muslims will be victims. They will be killing them. You know, many people will suffer. You know, sufforations will come on them. They will not have peace. You know, on the basic of, because you want to live as a Muslim or you want to live as a Christian, that anybody who live there have to live like that. So it will be it is very unfortunate to see people were having hope for Afghanistan, and it just went into the gutters like that. We with them, I don't know how to say that, but it is unfortunate that things went like this, and I hope that, you know, something can be done about it. I am a Muslim, but I will never live in an Islamic state. I don't want to live like that, because for me, I believe as a Muslim, as religion is faith, you know. Yeah, Anthony, you see, pa, boy, because people, you know, trying to, Mohammed, your network be out. I will not count on you. Yeah, but you will go again. So
Legi, we should know the history of this group. Many people are just talking about Taliban, and they know where these people come from, and when this group was created, what was their objectives, what are the, you know, how to call, efforts that this group did for Afghanistan, what was the people's position to them at the first time, what brought them, what give them such name in this particular time, who call them terrorists, who tarnish their image, who make them to carry out such, terrorist acts. We should know all these things. If we go back to history in 1979, when the Soviet Union invaded in Afghanistan, and the majority of the country are Muslims, and they were not happy with that invasion. So they took their arms to fight the Russian army in Afghanistan. At that time, the whole world, or the Western world, were behind the Afghan population. including America itself. America was an ally to the Afghanistan's people and their revolution against the Russian invasion in Afghanistan. 3 of my professors who taught me at the university, they went to Afghanistan and they participated in the jihad. The whole Muslim world was, flopping money and sending them to Afghanistan to support the jihad. And they have been fighting with the Russian power in Afghanistan from 1979 up to 1989. They have defeated Russian power.
Can I help you here? Do you know about this the contribution of Cuba in trying to help countries like to liberate themselves from colonialism?
The Cuba.
Yeah.
Fidel Castro.
Fidel Castro. Do you know the name Che Guevara?
Ernesto Che Guevara.
Do you know about that man?
I know that guy in Argentina, in Cuba, participated in many wars.
Yes, but his war was not based on faith. It's not religion. He wanted to liberate people for them to have their own destiny. So if you are talking about the problem here, we are talking about here. My problem about the Taliban is not about them trying to be a political party, or to form a government.
But I want you to know the history of this group, because I have not yet reached to that point.
What is the essence? Before we go here narrating about them history about Taliban, I know about the Taliban, but the essence. Why do you think we have to know the history of the Taliban?
Yeah, because knowing their history will help you to have the right position to them, because many people took wrong position to Taliban because they don't know where this group came from.
No, because do you know why? Do you know why people are not interested about the history of Taliban?
Yes.
Do you know it?
I don't know.
How can you not know that?
Because since they started fighting with the Americans and they call them terrorists, the Americans attack them and they react. So people just look at their reactions and the violations and the criminal act they did, and then they just classify them as terrorists.
Who is a terrorist to you? Who do you call a terrorist?
Is the Western world that call Taliban the terrorists?
No, don't forget about the Western world. I'm talking about you, Mohamed Toure. Mohamed Toure, what do you call a terrorist?
Terrorist is somebody who uses his force to terrorize other people, either to call them to his faith or to any other thing. Once he is using a violent way to force some people to come into something, that man is a terrorist.
So, do you believe? How do you call an administrator who think, and if everybody who is under him or her cannot disagree with him or her, have to do exactly what he or she think is right? How do you call that person?
Well, that person, I can call him an extremist. But if he use force or if he violates their laws, he could be classified as a terrorist.
Yeah. How how do you classify the acts of ISIS and the Taliban on their own people?
Me, I differentiate the ISIS from Taliban. The Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Boko Haram, these groups, I differentiate them from Taliban.
But bro, do you know the Taliban? The Taliban was the house of the Al-Qaeda.
But this is why I wanted to narrate to you the history, where the things came from.
No, answer my question. No, listen. You know, we have been having this conversation on the ground. I want you to answer my question. I ask you a question, answer it. Do you know that because of the Taliban, the Al-Qaeda get this big that they can organize all these big terrorist acts that they made in 2001?
No, I can agree with you that the mountain areas, the mountainous areas in Afghanistan was the hideout of Bin Laden. When he fled from Sudan, he hid in Afghanistan.
But the Taliban knew about these people.
Yeah, because the disagreement between US and Taliban for surrendering Bin Laden after he was been accused of carrying out the September 11 attack.
No, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the America here. Pull America out of it or the West. Let's talk about the Taliban and Al Qaeda now. The Taliban knew about Osama bin Laden and his movement in Afghanistan. Okay. They know it because Osama, like you said about your 3 professors who went to Afghanistan to fight what they by then call as jihad. That was not jihad. Yes. That was political movement. Listen, that was political movement because that is the same thing that the Cubans did for Angola. That is the same thing the Cuba did for Guinea-Bissau. That is the same thing the Cuban did for some South American countries, but they don't call that jihad. Is that jihad? No.
If a Muslim do that, I'm answering you. If a Muslim do that, we can call it a jihad. Because
why?
The Prophet said,
listen, what is the difference?
Okay. The Prophet said, if you die in defending your land, you are in heaven. If you die in defending your land, you are in heaven. So these people in Afghanistan were defending their own land. So they were doing jihad.
But the history, so you call those who went to liberate Guinea-Bissau, Angola, and other South American countries, you don't call those people jihadists?
If they were Muslims, I can call them jihadists because they were doing jihad, defending their own land.
But so if they are not Muslims, if they are not Muslims, they are not jihadists.
Of course, it's only
but they did what jihad is a word. What is the meaning of jihad?
But you cannot be a jihadist unless you are a Muslim.
But the act of doing a jihad, what is it? So you see, if somebody I will reframe this. I want to bring this more. How to call it? Lamin Sadikan. I understand what you are saying. If you don't understand the history of the Taliban, yes, I understand the history of I know about the Taliban. Even I know, but what I'm trying to see, you see, is the same thing. He's Mr. Toure is trying to say the West call the label the Taliban as terrorist group, but it's the same thing now the West are doing. Like Mohammed said here now, he's just categorized. I give him some examples. I said like what did Cubans and these revolutionaries, when they go to help people to liberate them from colonialism, and to help them to get an independent land of their own. That is defending your land. He don't call those people how to call it jihadists because they are not Muslims. You understand? Listen to what I'm saying. Because those people are not Muslims, we cannot call them jihadists. But the word jihad, the meaning of jihad is somebody who went to fight for a noble cause, like to free people, jihad. There are a lot of sort of jihad, So if the meaning of jihad is not only like that is an Arabic word, that is just like the people call, like when you say struggle or all these things, but it is the same thing now the West is doing, the world. If somebody will go to a church, a non-Muslim, when he go to a church and shoot all those people, Christians who are in the church, and kill them, if he's not a Muslim, they don't call him a terrorist. If a Muslim go out and kill a lot of people, they call him a terrorist because the name is associated, this term is associated with Islam. with Muslim. So the meaning of the word itself is forgotten. People will, you cannot call something cannot have a meaning and then you divert that and want to ask, to make appetite of it. Only when this sort of group do it, then we call them that. This is where I was trying to lead Mohammed to see that what the concept of the Taliban is wrong. Yes, I know what you are. We all know all these terror groups. Even people. You are right. Even ISIS, the ISIS that was happening in these groups when they are happening, what was happening in Syria and Iraq. Many people said the West is behind it, especially Israel and the US, because Israel wanted to destabilize the Middle East so that they can concentrate. Because when Russia enter into it, Russia enter into the fight to defend like Syria and more. That's why they lose the battle. It hadn't been it's left to only America and others. ISIS will still be existing. It's because Syria, Syria, they get an ally who have no interest, in the middle in that fight, because America have interest of Israel, and the stability of Iraq and Syria is the interest of Israel. People were saying that the ISIS is from Israel. Like now you see now America now they left Afghanistan. Millions of their worthy of military equipments are now in the hands of the Taliban. But guess what? Taliban don't have firm grip of that land because there is ISIS in a militant group of ISIS in Afghanistan. So Afghanistan will not be stable. People will die because there will be a power struggle between these two groups, and they will all be fighting on baseless jihad. Yes, like you said, the Al Qaeda, we know the Al Qaeda is Osama bin Laden and his group. That's why I was trying to lead Mohammed, how the Taliban, harbored Al Qaeda, Osama bin Laden and his movement. That until those people could mobilize and organize this kind of damages on other human beings. But the concept of these people, the mentality of these people are wrong. Because if you look at the life of our prophet, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, go and read his agreements, how he treat other religious people, how he treat people minority. He never force them to worship like him. But the Taliban they were in Afghanistan. There is nobody they will not allow anybody to worship any way apart from the way they worship, like the ISIS we are doing. So it will be. This is my problem with this, with all these problems. It's not because of if the Taliban by then we are not terrorizing their people, now many people believe, okay, if you see the Taliban have power now, it's because of the corruption that the Western world brought there. Many people were corrupt, people are suffering, food, many things are difficult to arrange there. If you don't have money, you cannot have it. Civil servants are corrupt. People prefer to have, the religious, the Taliban, because the Taliban will do, people are afraid of, the Sharia law. That's why people prefer to have the Sharia law than to have a Western democratic law, because of the rampant corruption, too much of suffering. That's why the Taliban have a lot of sympathizers. They could conquer easily, the provinces and all those, because sovereign were much, because the West, they were, since they killed Osama bin Laden and all those, they just think, their operation is finished, you know. But they they bring a new system, a system that doesn't, these people don't understand. They don't fit evil. If you train an army, for 20 years, for at just between 2 3 engagement, those people, they just disappear like that. Those people were not trained enough. Those people were not, made to be patriotic. Even useless Gambian military, when when Yaya Jammeh wanted to stay, they were on standstill until, you know until they know, now it is he went, because, but how can you can understand. They just they introduce you into things, and they 20, imagine 20 years you train a military, police, and all those people. You don't, at a single engagement, those people all, they disappear like that. Like Afghanistan never have an army. There must be a reason behind it. I understand. I actually agree for a fact that maybe there must be a motive behind. The people might the people of Afghanistan have been suffering maybe for long. All these 20 years, they see no changes. Everything is. That's why maybe, you know, the Taliban could make it easy. But it is unfortunate to see like that. All these Western powers, they come there after 20 years, my brother, and everything went like this. I am not a fan of the Taliban, because they don't have a good record there. You know, they bring all this suffering to the Afghan people because of their religious belief and all these mentalities. That's why we had all this Afghanistan suffering. Yeah, so I am not a fan of them. I don't support them. I don't support any extreme ideologies. You know, I am not a. I don't support that. So, and I don't believe in living in a society where everybody have to think alike. You know, so. ah, you never know, yeah, because in Afghanistan there is ISSK, a group of ISIS which is there. You never know what the West can do, yeah, because I hear yesterday about 13 US soldiers died in that terror group. But that, okay, now they say also is those uh, they said it's big this terror group which is there that caused made this thing, the attack, this ISIS group. Yes, this is what I believe, Antoine. I Parmendi. This is what I believe too. Because if religion is based on faith, you know, you follow your faith. Let people be. It's not between me and you. It's between me and God. So you worship as which the way you want to worship. I worship as the way I want to worship. Because after all, we will not be buried in the same grave. So you, like God tell to the prophet, you your religion, to me my religion. So you worship the way you want to worship. I don't mind that. You don't just have to put me in. It's the same like when I talk to people about homosexuality and all those things. I say I don't have any problem with it. I have no problem with it. I just don't want you to force me into it, like to force the ideology on me. You can live anyhow you want to be. If you want to change yourself to a man in the next minute, if you are a woman, you have a choice to do that. It's your freedom of expression of mentality that your mentality brings you to that. I will not live your life. You will live your own life. So if you want to be anything you want to be it. Just but don't bring me into it. You know, if you think you want to be anything or you want to think anyhow, so it be it. Just be who you are to me. You know, don't force your mentalities on me. Don't force yourself on me. Don't force your religion on me. Don't force your ideologies on me. We can agree to disagree. I can engage you into discussions. We talk about everything you want to talk about. You know, I have no problems with any religious people. I don't have problem with any, you know, other kind of sexuologies or sex. You know, if you want to be a lesbian, be it. If you want to be a homosexual, be it. I don't mind, but don't just put it onto me. You know, so that so be it on Islam also. If you want to be a Al Qaeda, be it. Don't bring it onto me or onto people. If you want to be a Shia or Sunni, be it, but don't force it onto me. You know, lakum dinukum waliya din. God said that to the prophet. So who are you? So you know, so who are you to not listen to that? To you, your religion; to me, mine. So that is your own your life. I was born. When I was born, you never noticed it. I didn't notice when you were born. We all exist. You exist because I am. I exist because you are. If I don't know you, you don't exist. If I don't know you, if you don't know me, you don't exist. You know, I am because of who you are. Because if I don't know you, you don't exist. If I know you, even when you go anywhere, even when you are no more, you will exist in my mind, because then you exist. You know, so acceptance of, because this is where I have the problem. Because listen, when the prophet took have, you know, absolute power in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia by then, you know, Makkah and all those Islam under him. He have these agreements with these families, these Jew families, groups and Christians, those who other believers there. They agree. They sit and agree. Listen, we will live together, but you worship, you worship how you worship. But the only way I will not attack you is if you don't have any, you don't make any plot with my enemies, those who want to attack me. And I will also will not plot with anybody who want to attack you. We be brothers keep. That is literally meaning we are brothers keepers. You know, be you, like God told the prophet, lakum dinukum waliyadin. You know, to you your religion, to them theirs. So he, if God, if the prophet could, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam could accept those, that thing, can live with people of other religious beliefs. You know, who is Taliban to say all everybody who will live in Afghanistan have to be a Muslim? Who is ISIS to say anybody who will live under them have to be a Muslim? There cannot be a church. There cannot be a temple, even a mosque that is doesn't worship like they worship. They will demolish it. You know, they, if you, bro, if you look deeply, if you look at the sense deeply, you see that it contradicts the teaching of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or his way of life. You know how he lived, because you will hear they say, as a Muslim, the Prophet is the perfect example, but the basic principles of the prophet, how he lived with other minorities, they don't respect that in totality, even among Muslims themselves. You know, among those Muslims, you know, the Shia don't cannot start. A Shia can go to a Sunni mosque and blow himself and kill every Sunni in that mosque, and he will call it jihad. A Sunni can do that also to a Shia, and he will call that jihad. Like Muhammad wanted to talk about jihad by then. I give him about Che Guevara and all those revolutionaries, people who went to liberate other people from being captive or being all. That is absolute jihad. But because he said if they are Muslims, they will call those people jihadists. Because they are not Muslims, they are not jihadists. So I don't understand that. So Mohammed, his network did not allow us to have this conversation. I wanted to engage because he disturbed me a lot online. We talk about these things. He want to tell me about the Taliban. I know about the Taliban. I because we all when 9/11 happens, we all want to know about the war, and we have been following documentaries. We learn a lot about them. We know it, so we know everything about them. But their objectives are wrong, and their work and their way of governing is wrong. I am not saying they are like the Islamic principles like rule Sharia and all those, but the extreme Sharia laws. You cannot apply Sharia on non-Muslims. You know, so and if they believe they took the prophet as an example, they would have agreed to they would know that the prophet accept people who were not Muslims to live under him. So he did not kill them. He did not deny them their rights to exist or to practice. So, but in Afghanistan, it is like that. In we've seen all this where these extreme groups they rule. They have power. They try to make sure that only Islamic teachings or only Islamic way of life exist, and that is not true. That should not be that way, because in where when Islam start, and the one who brought Islam to us, he accepted other people who were not Muslims. So, but when you talk, they say, yeah, Muslim, blah blah. Me, I'm Erasmus, so that's why it's different. I don't believe in living in a Muslim, all Muslims. I don't believe that, because it is Iman. They say it is faith. You know, it's between you and God, because what you sow is not what they might find in your grave. If what they are teaching us about grave is true, you know. So they themselves, the Taliban, the ISIS, the Al Qaeda, all these people, they contradict themselves. They contradict teaching of Islam itself. Yeah, Mohammed. Yeah, he could not. His network, African network. I was thinking Cote d'Ivoire was better than the Gambia, but Gambia is better than Cote d'Ivoire in terms of network, because Mohammed network is always very poor. Yes, I already am almost 1 hour here. I will also leave because I have to wake up tomorrow early morning. Tomorrow is Little God Friends Day. I have to get my daughter tomorrow too. But tomorrow I will try to catch somebody here if I have time, you know, to talk about the Gambian political drama. Yeah. I wish you all a wonderful evening. Mohammed, hey, Lamin Sedigan, Demal Nelaw. Go to bed. I don't know if it is morning with you. I don't know. Which time it is in Korea? Hello, guys. So, have a good night. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.